Support for Sportspage is provided by First Central Bank, full-service banking from 6 locations in Warrensburg, Holden, Higginsville, and Odessa. More information is available on their Facebook page or at the website firstcentral.net. Member FDIC. By the University Store. The University Store is the official headquarters for Mules and Jenny's emblem clothing, gifts, and UCM memorabilia. Books, office supplies, art supplies, and more are available at the University Store, located on the lower floor of the Elliott Union on the UCM campus in Warrensburg. And promotional support for Sportspage is provided by 1450 Cocoa and 98.5 The Bar. 1450 Cocoa and 98.5 The Bar, the radio home of University of Central Missouri Athletics.
Coming up next on our season-ending edition of the Central Missouri Sports Page, we'll visit with Mules Baseball coach Tom Myers about the huge series win over 6th-ranked Missouri Western last weekend in St. Joe, and we'll look ahead to this weekend's big home series with Emporia State that closes out the regular season. UCM Athletics has formed a unique and special partnership with the Missouri National Guard, and we'll talk about that with the National Guard's UCM recruiter, Sergeant Damon Gates. In our Sports Page Spotlights, we'll meet Mules Baseball senior second baseman Jon Cotter, one of the many clutch stars from the series finale at Western, and we'll take a look back at another great year for UCM Mules and Jenny Sports. It's all next on our final 2012-2013 edition of the Central Missouri Sports Page. The 8th-ranked Mules baseball team took 2 of 3 games from 6th-ranked Missouri Western last weekend in St. Joseph. The 8th-ranked Mules now 31-9 overall, 25-8 in the MIAA, and they are ranked number 1 in the first NCAA Central Regional rankings released yesterday. Joining us now to talk Mules baseball is head coach Tommy Myers. Tommy, welcome back to the show.
Thanks for having me.
How proud are you of the toughness your team displayed last weekend in St. Joe? We know about the great effort winning 2 of 3, but how about the toughness?
Well, yeah, I mean, you go on the road in this conference, and then you're playing the 6th-ranked team in the country. You couldn't ask for much more, and the fact that I thought we should have won all 3, but our kids played really hard and very intelligent, and I actually had some emails from some people that recognized that just how well we functioned in the face of some adversity, how it never spun us out of control, and so that tells me that our kids are ready for some tight, tough games.
Yeah, everything you build upon, whether it's the off-season workouts or the type of kid you recruit, the things you preach every day, prepare your guys for nobody on, 2 outs, down a run, playing at an opponent's ballpark that's ranked 6th in the nation. They're playing for their first conference crown. 16 seniors honored on senior day. Single. Double down the line, scores a run. Single. Hit batter on 0-2. Walk. Go up a run. Then come back out in the bottom of the inning. 2 on, nobody out. Nation's leading hitting team at the plate. Oropeza, headlong dive, tremendous play at first on a bunt. And then, obviously, Zach Davis helped himself. Tremendous play as a pitcher for the second out. Now you've got the tying run at third base, the MIAA winning run at second base, and the second leading hitter in the league, one of those seniors up, and Zach Davis strikes him out. I mean, it was about 40 minutes where every play mattered for your team. The other team only had to make one. And you made every one of them.
Yeah, I tell you, you don't execute that way unless you try to do it every inning of every pitch of every inning from the day they arrive on campus in practice. And that's one thing. You mentioned that at the end of the game, here's the situation, here it's set up. Well, we're going to attack it from the first pitch of the game, and the idea is that when it matters, we're going to execute, and we're going to know what's important to us and how to handle that situation because we're trying to put our kids in that environment every inning.
Taking nothing away from Western. 3 one-run games. It looked like number 6 versus number 8 in the nation. And if you were just a casual baseball fan this weekend in St. Joseph watching the Mules and Griffins, you got to see some great college baseball.
That series was what it's all about for us. When it comes down to regular season play, wanting to play great competition, that's as good a team as we've faced in my 5 years here, and we've played some pretty big teams. They're really good. But I think the way we play and the style we have, it's pretty be evident anyway that when we play Mules Baseball, we're as good as any team in the country, if not better.
Well, let's take a look at some of the numbers here. Your pitching held the nation's #1 offense, 373 on the year coming in. 7 pitchers held them to a 218 batting average on the weekend.
Well, I didn't do the numbers like that, and that's good to hear. But the key was we kept them off. We kept their leadoff hitter off base. I think it was 22 of the 27 innings we played, and that was huge for us because the other 5 innings are the innings they scored.
That's exactly right. Well, Game 1 was a 7-inning game. It was a pitcher's duel. Brandon Simmons for Missouri Western, Travis Higgs for your team, and you lost the game, but boy, both starters really pitched well.
Yeah, Travis was able to get us deep into a game, and you know, in a 7-inning game, you'd like to have to use 1 to 2 pitchers max, and that's what we did. Unfortunately, we didn't win that one, but then you look at what was done in Game 2, and Curtis Schuler, I think outside of a borderline ball 4 call, was perfect through 8.
Well, the Mules lost Game 1 3-2. Curtis Schuler was outstanding in Game number 2. 8 1/3, allowed 2 hits, no runs against the #1 offense in the nation. One of the better pitching performances we've seen from a Mule from Curtis Schuler, who flipped the series back to the momentum on your side. And now we look at the rubber game. Game 3 of the series on Sunday. The Mules and Western from St. Joseph on a windy day. And your guys, again, just able to approach it one pitch at a time and play great defense. That might be the one thing we haven't talked about that we should, and good approaches at the plate, including Kyle Griesaber right there with a 2-run homer to the left.
Well, yeah, I think you're right. Great defense did it for us all weekend. It showed up. We were there. Sammy's leadoff double and to open Game 1 set the tone, because that's really just a long single is what that should have been, but a guy hustling out of the box does it. And Kyle, there's another 2-strike hit that leaves the yard into a pretty stiff wind. So
again, we're looking at highlights there. You see Western has the lead at this point. We have the lead, rather, 4-3. This game will go back and forth a couple of different times as we head down the stretch. Chris Fitzpatrick got the start, only gave you a couple innings, but nice defensive play there, by the way. But he gutted out a couple innings and really, I thought, set a positive tone for you.
Yeah, he really did. He puts it all on the line every time out, and that's what we expect is guys to go out and compete, and he did that, and just gave us a couple, but he wanted the ball for more. We just felt like moving on at that point.
And Kyle Griesaber takes a shot to the face, which we won't see, ends up with his jaw swelling up pretty big. He turned out to be okay physically later on, but I thought he showed the toughness and leadership that your team always relies on, a senior who has his face swell up but stays out there and plays and gets the job done.
Yeah, that was an unfortunate thing that happens. A guy gets hit in the face, but I tell you what, after that, I think all of our players said, man, we are tougher than anybody, and I think even to an extent the opponent thought, man, we can't put them away. Look at them.
Well, Barrett Norfelice right there with the Mules down a run. A 2-out, 1-strike single to left, and then Jon Cotter, your 9-hole hitter, hitless on the weekend, a triple over the right fielder's head. Norfelice comes around to score. You've tied the game with 2 outs.
Yeah, Jon, 9-hole guy, is not supposed to push one over the head of the off outfielder right there, but he's a stronger kid than he looks, and he got a pitch up that he could hit, and he did exactly what he's supposed to do, was drive it hard and flat and cut through that wind to tie it up.
Mules aren't done. Samuel Domingue, great play by Schultz to save the go-ahead run, but then Cotter's able to hustle back to third. Domingue keeps the 2-out rally alive. So now we've gone 8-9-1 in the lineup. It's 0-2 to Trevor Jones, and he's hit. Coach, when this happened, I thought, we're going to win this game. 0-2. Baseball gods are not going to let you win when you hit a guy on 0-2 with 2 outs.
Well, yeah, and we set that up to happen, and obviously we're not expecting a hit by pitch there or a walk, but to win those games, but you'll take what you can get. It's not an easy thing with guys as aggressive as they are nowadays offensively to settle in and allow that pitch to happen. I thought was pretty good.
Well, and of course highlights only show the offense. The defense in the bottom of the inning, I was really hoping we'd see that, because a tremendous play by John Oropeza on a headlong dive on a foul ball. We mentioned that a moment ago. And then Zach Davis helping his own cause as well with a tremendous play over the mound. And now all of a sudden, second and third, 2 outs, and he strikes out Michael Schultz, second leading hitter in the league. So a great series overall. Normally, Mules Baseball is not real thrilled to win 2 out of 3, but that's a good opponent that we played up there.
Yeah, it really is. And you're right. John Orpeza's play was huge. With a left-handed pitcher on the mound, he's got to be covering a push bunt past him, and he ends up in 10 feet in foul territory, diving with runners on. And then the play that bounced over Zach's head when he had to walk down the back of the mound, and with a good runner coming down the first baseline to be able to gather himself and throw a strike to Orpeza for the second out was big. but it advances both guys into scoring position, so that strikeout should be harder. Michael Schulze's only struck out 8 times on the year, and you can't throw a breaking ball in the dirt or whatever to go for the punch out, so he had to attack him with fastballs, and I thought Seth Wheeler did a great job of setting up the pitch, and there it was. And you could tell out of hand it was going to be a strike, and when it missed the bat, it was a pretty neat moment.
All 7 guys that pitched for you this weekend against the nation's leading hitting team kept the ball down. I did not see many balls out of the zone high. Everything was right here in Seth Wheeler's mitt, low and away, and I thought that was a big key. And a guy that obviously was the best at it, I do want to go back and talk about Curtis Schuler, the junior from Wichita. He's had a great career, kind of had an up-and-down year, but there's nobody you'd rather give the ball to as we head down the stretch. One of the more competitive guys we've ever been around, and that's saying something in this program. And wow, was he on Saturday as he went 8 1/3, gave up 2 hits, no earned runs, 1 walk, 6 strikeouts, again against the best offense in the country.
Yeah, after his previous start, I'm sure there were some people, not on our club, not within our club, but some people wondering, are they going to give the ball back to him? And there was no question in my mind that he was going to come out and compete, and that's all you can ask for him. And to see him execute pitches down in the zone like that, I think our other pitchers thrived on that as well, and I think our catchers even said, this is how it's supposed to be done. We're going to make sure it happens, and you see the results.
There you see the results. Mules fall in game 1 3-2, but again, talk about the toughness. Win the next 2 on the road with the conference title on the line on senior weekend. Mules win 2-1 in game 2 on Saturday. Again, got that tremendous pitching performance from Curtis Schuler. You see the numbers there at the bottom of your screen, and then you saw the highlights earlier from the 6-5 Mule win to win the series. Another neat thing about this series, as I went back and looked, Tommy, all 9 of your position players got at least 1 hit and scored at least 1 run. That's pretty good production up and down the lineup.
Team effort, and I think we even had some guys with some sacrifice bunts that are hitting in the middle to score runs or to move runners so that the guy behind him had an opportunity. And that's encouraging that the guys recognize how important it is, that they don't have to be the hero. They can set it up for somebody else to be the hero because 1 through 9 we can get it done. Okay,
we've complimented the team. Now let's go back to you being the coach that you are. We've still got a lot of important baseball left to go, including this weekend, then the conference tournament first round, 2 weekends in a row in Warrensburg, and then we hopefully go to Kansas City in a regional. What still needs to improve with this ball club?
Well, like anything, at this point, we know what we're supposed to do. We know how we're supposed to go about doing it. We execute defensively, and in practice yesterday we were very good on the infield. But I think we need to understand that these moments, we can't allow them to spin us out of control. And we're gonna continue to talk about how we play, what matters to us, and then continue to prepare in just a fashion that reminds guys of what's important. And we'll see. I think this club is ultra talented, one of the most talented teams I've had since I've been here. Their issue is going to be being overconfident.
And the first regional rankings came out yesterday. They were ranked number 1. It's great. It's nice to be there. It shows that, hey, if you win out, you're probably going to host. But that's the key. You haven't hosted anything yet. Got to keep winning.
No, you can't go into it at this point thinking anything other than the task at hand. The daily responsibilities that we have to continue to get better on and off the field. Even now we've got not only big issues with who we're playing and what's at stake. You have classroom issues with finals and doing things to make sure that we finish up on a good note there. And but it's a veteran club in that sense too, and I don't expect anything less, and they don't either.
One of the encouraging things, as we visited earlier in the season, one of the things you mentioned was we needed to be a little tougher. We needed to compete a little harder. That's why maybe we had lost a couple games that normally the Mules don't lose. We saw that toughness this weekend. I know you feel like if we can continue to play at that level every game, we're going to have a chance at a fun and long postseason.
Yeah, you can narrow it down to just being overconfident and not respecting an opponent because we haven't lost a series yet. Knock on wood, whatever. We just haven't lost a series yet, and I think it comes down to when the toughest games are being played, we show up. And if we don't show up, we can get beat. And that's a great reminder for us every day. You never like losing. In my opinion, losing's not a reason to figure out what's going wrong. That just means we weren't prepared enough to play. So that's my fault. But they've heard it, and they know what's expected of them, and I expect great from them.
Mules 31-9 right now, ranked 8th in the nation, number 1 in the region. That's the only ranking that really matters. Top 6 teams from the Central region will compete for a right to go to Cary, North Carolina in mid-May at a site to be determined. And this year, of course, a new region with the Northern Sun and the MIAA joined with the Great American Conference. We're no longer with the Lone Star and the Heartland. So some different teams in those rankings this week, but also some familiar ones like Southern Arkansas that we've seen last year, Missouri Western obviously checking in behind the Mules. Speaking of a familiar opponent, kind of the traditional rival for the Mules the last few years in the league, Emporia State coming to town. They haven't had the great success the last couple of years that they had enjoyed previously under head coach Bob Fernelli, but still a very, very good team, a team that has really improved as they head down the backstretch of the season. That's
very evident to us. You know, you watched them, they opened up. Didn't have the year that didn't get off to the start that they wanted to, and now you know, if you can kind of turn the page and look at what's going on now, they're a very hot team. They're playing really well. They've got a better identity of who they are and what they're wanting to do. And so they're going to come in here, like always, ready to go, and we've got to step up and meet that challenge because they're a very good club.
Well, Saturday it's a 1 o'clock doubleheader at Crane Stadium, Tompkins Field. It's Senior Day, so get there early, probably about 12:40 or so for the Senior Day ceremony. Hope you'll come out for that. It's also Team Youth Day Saturday, folks. It's going to be gorgeous, about 65, 66 degrees. Teams, wear your uniform tops and you get in free. If you don't have your uniform tops yet, email Bob Jackson. His email address is jackson@ucmo.edu. jackson@ucmo.edu. He'll get you vouchers to get in free. So bring the teammates, wear the jerseys, come out, get in free. And also on Saturday, in addition to Senior Day, the 10-year reunion for the 2003 Division II National Champs. Coach Myers, an assistant on that team, of course, under Brad Hill, Hall of Famer here, now head coach at K-State. And I think, at last check, Tommy, 17 of those guys are coming back. So look at that. Emporia, good weather, Senior Day for 10 guys, bunch of kids looking up to your guys in the ballpark, and about 17 national champs here. It doesn't get much better than that, huh?
Not at all, not at all. You know, it's going to be great to have that reunion with those guys. And then to recognize a wonderful group of seniors. And then, you know, every time we have Youth Day, you know, at the end of it, they come back in the summer to our youth camp, and it's just so interesting when you ask them who their favorite team is. They don't talk Major League Baseball around here. They talk about being a Central Missouri Mule and growing up wanting to be that, you know, and that's a special time. So it'll be great to have them there.
I think we've got our Buck Day presented by Sodexo on Saturday as well. Plus Sunday, it's a 1 o'clock single game. So 3 games against Emporia State this weekend. We'll have all 3 of them for you on 98.5 FM. That's 98.5 The Bar, WarrensburgRadio.com on your computer or smartphone. Saturday will also be on 1450 AM, 98.5 The Bar, and WarrensburgRadio.com. By the way, Saturday as well, pay-per-view webcast on the UCM Media Network. Just go to our website, UCMathletics.com. So we're home this weekend, Tommy, to close out the regular season. Saturday at 1, Sunday at 1, and then we found out this week we're home next weekend, or the end of next week, for the first time, the MIAA Tournament expanding to 8 teams. So the top 4 will host the bottom 4 in a best-of-3 series, all 9-inning games. The 4 winners then advance to Kansas City. So you see it there next Thursday. That's May the 2nd. And that'll be a 6 o'clock game. Then on Friday, May the 3rd, that's a 6 o'clock game. And if need be, it would be on Saturday, a 1 o'clock game. So 6, 6, and 1. I think we'll be the 2 seed. I think that's locked in, so we'll host 7. Don't know who that is. But what I do know is after playing, 36 of your 40-some games on the road, it looks like we're going to play 5 or 6 home games with some good weather, so that's great.
That'll be fun, you know. And then obviously when you have a facility as great as we do, it's really nice to play at home. And then when the conference decided to go to an 8-team conference tournament, I think this is a great format for it. And I think it rewards teams that have had a little more success the opportunity to play at home in front of their crowd, and so that'll be a great thing. And you know, I don't know much else going on in May in Warrensburg except Central Missouri Baseball typically, so people should be used to it. Home games in May for Central Missouri Baseball.
Well, this is our last visit here on the show this year, so I want to ask you a fill-in-the-blank question before we let you go. This is a tough one. The Mules will win a lot of games down the stretch, have a chance at a big postseason run if?
If, huh?
And you fill in the blank. What's the if? What's it going to take for this team to do it?
I think just respect. You know, we have to respect our opponents, and we're so good on both sides of the ball. We can pitch it really well. We play great defense, and we can execute offensively. And to allow any distraction to get in the way isn't. So we respect what we're doing, who we're playing, and how to go about it. Then we should be in good shape.
Thanks for the visits all season long, and best of luck down the stretch.
Thanks for having me.
Coming up next here on Sportspage, we'll get to know Mules senior second baseman Jon Cotter from Moose Jaw, Saskatchewan, Canada. That's next right here on KMOS-TV.
They believed they could face any hardship, weather any storm, but nothing could prepare them for this. From Ken Burns, an epic saga of land scarred, dreams buried, and hopes reborn. The Dust Bowl.
On Australia's first 4 billion years, an adventure way down under.
Blimey, this is tight.
Reveals the key to the kangaroo's story and the giant evolutionary leap that led to a continent of strange creatures. On Nova.
What if television took risks? What if it gave pioneers the chance to create something completely new and helped everyone see the world in a whole new way? For over 40 years, PBS stations have pushed the boundaries of media by asking questions no one else asks. What if media could improve the way your children learn? What if great art flowed freely into every living room? It's the questions we ask that help open new worlds and new possibilities for every American. Support your PBS station and the pioneers who never stop asking, what if?
Thank you for watching KMOS Channel 6.1, Sedalia, Warrensburg.
And welcome back to Sports Page here on KMOS-TV, Missouri PBS. In this Sports Page Spotlight, we'll get to know Mules senior second baseman Jon Cotter.
It's a solid group of guys, a lot of talent. We play as a team. We all kind of, have the same idea when we're up to bat and on defense. A lot of new faces, I would say, but real similar to the team last year in terms of talent. Our pitching staff is, top-notch. We got guys like Travis Higgs, Curtis Schuler, Chris Fitzpatrick. And then, guys at the back end of our bullpen that can really shut it down. I think offensively is where we gotta, pick it up a little bit sometimes. We gotta be flat with the baseball. We're not a team that's gonna hit a whole bunch of home runs. So I think, we gotta get guys on base. We gotta move them over. We gotta, stay flat rather than, hit those high fly balls that guys just can't. Me and Coach Myers get along great. Ever since day one, last year when I got here, we've been, perfect with each other. We understand each other. Coach Crooks and I get along awesome, both as an infielder coach and the hitting coach. Coach Legree, Coach Kent, and Coach Reller, all great guys. Love to be around them. I love the experience of being a Mule. I really do. There's been some ups and downs for sure. We've lost quite a few conference games that really we shouldn't have. Mule baseball has always been about, winning games, sweeping, never letting up, and, always kind of putting the dagger into teams. And we haven't done that as well as, you know, I think we should be this year. But with the 2 wins against Western last weekend at their yard, I think, you know, those were pretty big statement wins for us. My playing style, I mean, I'm pretty loose out there. I don't really, you know, try to speed the game up too much when I'm fielding ground balls or up to bat. I try to, you know, keep it kind of loose. But you know, I'm intense. Like, I'm gonna go hard after everything. I'm not gonna take anything for granted. And you know, I play hard. I really truly think I do. I came on my trip, and you know, first of all, you know, the indoor and the field and the stands and everything is just top class. And you know, the locker room, and then you know, all the people, like Coach Cole, one of the first people I met while I was on campus. Just such a great guy, and you know, I didn't really go on any other trips, any other recruiting trips, but I knew once I came here that this was the place for me. I mean, being from Canada, it's been an awesome experience to come here, meet a lot of guys. Everybody seems to love that I'm from Canada. Me and Marshall Dean roomed together. He's a pitcher on the team, and everybody's accepted us, and you know, it's awesome. It really is to, you know, meet guys from all over. You know, they say I've kind of got a funny accent, but I don't know. Maybe I've lost a little bit, but I like, you know, all the guys on the team and spend all my time with them, really. My parents have always been behind me throughout my life. They've stood behind every decision I've ever made, coming here being one of the biggest ones. My dad's always pushed me to be, you know, as great as I can be. And in terms of, you know, kind of role models growing up, I mean, I was obviously a big Derek Jeter fan, Alex Rodriguez, but, you know, really my parents and the rest of my family, you know, being behind me through my whole career has been big for me. Minute Maid Park, and you know, the whole trip really was surreal. Playing one game a day, you know, pretty much living the big league life almost. It was awesome, and you know, for the rest of the years that they do that, guys are going to have the experience of a lifetime whenever they get to do it. So, you know, I really appreciate what Jim Crane and the rest of the Mule alumni have done, and you know, guys are really going to enjoy their time there. I've loved my time here at Central Missouri. I've, you know, met a lot of good guys, made a lot of great friends. You know, I've gained a lot more respect for everybody that's came through this program. You know, before I got here, I had no idea. You know, I didn't know anything about it, and now, you know, I know the ins and outs, and I understand what it's like to be a Mule, and you know, I appreciate every opportunity that I got.
The senior second baseman from Moose Jaw, Saskatchewan, Canada, was an honorable mention All-MIAA selection last year. And this year he's playing his typical terrific defense, and he's handling the bat well at the plate, including the big 2-out RBI double to tie the game and propel the Mules to the 6-5 win Sunday that took the series at 6th-ranked Missouri Western. Coming up next on Sportspage, we'll take a look back at how Central Missouri's spring sports teams performed this past week, and we'll talk about the partnership between UCM Athletics and the Missouri National Guard with UCM National Guard recruiter Sergeant Damon Gates. All of that's on the way when Sportspage continues right after this.
That's cool. One man, one Harley. We are ready to go. One surprising look at the land of the free.
I'm Peter Sagal, and I am taking a journey across the country to find out how the Constitution works in the 21st century. I am so tweeting this.
Cracks are showing in the Bill of Rights. Technology's putting them there.
Constitution USA with Peter Sagal.
How does a horse bred for war become the star of this ballet? The answer lies in the history of this creature, the Lipizzaner stallion. This is Vienna's Spanish riding school, where horse and rider continue a tradition that has been passed down for centuries. Discover what it takes to become a legendary white stallion.
Load up your golf clubs, grab your spikes, and head out to the first tee. As our way of saying thank you for your financial contribution at the $50 level or higher, KMOS will send you a member card. In addition to great discounts at restaurants, attractions, and bed and breakfast all across Missouri, the member card also offers 2-for-1 greens fees at several Missouri golf courses. Improve your swing while taking in beautiful lake vistas. Or experience the Rumble at America's only golf course above an active mine. Take your game to the next level by playing around on us. Call 1-800-753-3436 and support KMOS-TV, Missouri PBS. Thank you.
You're watching KMOS Channel 6.1, Sedalia, Warrensburg.
And once again, thanks for watching Sportspage here on KMOS-TV, Missouri PBS. Before we visit with Sergeant Damon Gates of the Missouri National Guard, let's check out how the Mules and Jennies performed this past week. And it's a busy time for the Mules and Jennies, including softball. They won 3 of 4 conference games this past weekend to close out the home portion of their schedule in style. On Saturday, the Gens took 2 from Nebraska Kearney, winning Game 1 9-4. Braylon Bivens drove in 5 in the win. In Game 2, the Gens got a great complete game pitching performance from Jessica Wilkes to beat the Lopers 9-2. On Sunday, the Jennies hosted 18th-ranked Fort Hays State. The Tigers cruised to a 7-0 win in Game 1, but in that final home game of the season, the Gens got a 5-inning, 1-hit complete game performance from Jessica Wilkes in the circle, and Jackie Prater went 2 for 2 at the plate with 2 home runs and 5 runs driven in, as the Gens run-ruled 18th-ranked Fort Hays State 10-2 in 5 innings. The Gens now 23-19, 13-11 in the league. The UCM track and field program hosted the Mule Relays on Sunday at Walton Stadium Kennedy Field. UCM had 5 NCAA provisional marks on the day, and freshman Kellen Locke from right here in Warrensburg broke the Walton Stadium record in the 800-meter run with a time of 1 minute 50.16 seconds. The Mules golf team finished in second place at the rain-shortened MIAA Championships in Smithville. Central Oklahoma won the event. Robbie Huey finished in fourth for the Mules with scores of 73 and 70. Sam Migdal tied for sixth with a 71 and 74. They were joined on the All-MIAA team by Cy Moritz and Travis Mays. The Mules lineup consisted of 3 freshmen and 2 sophomores at the MIAA Tournament, 4 of whom were named All-League. The Jennies golf team finished in 10th place at their first ever MIAA tournament in Smithville. Central Oklahoma won the women's title as well, with the tournament shortened to only 18 holes due to rain and snow. Katie Threlkeld fired an 83 to finish in 19th to pace the Jennies, and congratulations to Coach Chris Port and Jennies Golf on building a solid foundation in their first ever year of competition. Well, last spring, UCM Athletics entered into a comprehensive partnership with the Missouri National Guard. If you've been to a UCM sporting event this season, no doubt you've seen the positive effects of the partnership, including the new video boards at the Multi and Walton Stadium Kennedy Field. The Missouri National Guard offers a tremendous opportunity to need-based college students with an affordable education and the opportunity to serve our great nation. Joining us now to talk about the Missouri National Guard partnership with UCM Athletics is Sergeant Damon Gates, the UCM National Guard recruiter. Sergeant Gates, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Shawn. Thanks for having me.
Well, first of all, you believe in what you sell. You're a UCM alum yourself.
I am. I graduated here in 2003 with a bachelor's in finance or business.
So that's awesome, and certainly I think when you're able to talk about the place and have that extra passion for it, it means a lot. Now, I've talked about it, and our fans have seen it, the benefits of the partnership to UCM Athletics, those beautiful new video boards and all the great things. But talk about why the partnership with UCM is equally important to you guys, to the Missouri National Guard.
Well, I would say what makes it the best thing for us is that we get a good vehicle to put our market to the target audience that we're looking at. I recruit here at UCM and only at UCM, and so I'm looking to put people into the National Guard and help them pay for their education here at UCM, so it gives me the opportunity to get to those people. Basketball and football has quite a few people who attend those events, and so I get to be there and put our information out.
And that seems like the biggest thing to me, Sergeant Gates, because what you guys offer during these times where people need assistance to get through school, and to be able to do that without loans and serve the country is obviously a tremendous opportunity for need-based students or any students, but they've got to know about that for it to take place.
Right. Putting the information out there is probably the most important thing. I mean, I would hate for a senior to come up to me after they've been here for 4 years, paid for their college using loans and mom and dad and working part-time, here in town, barely scraping by, and then come to me at the end and go, I wish I'd have known that was available. And I've had that, and I'm trying to make that number very small to people who don't know that they can come to the National Guard, get their education paid for, and actually get paid to go to school and get that degree at the end.
One of the things that gives me a lot of pride is the fact that Central, as my alma mater, is very military friendly. We've got a Veterans and Military Affairs office on our campus, a strong sense of military pride, obviously being located so close to Whiteman Air Force Base and the close association with the Guard. How much does that help you do your job, and how much does it help you as someone who was in the military and went to school here?
Lynn Louder, I mean, we didn't have that when I was going to school here. I had to pretty much do it myself. Lisa Morris, who does the financial aid for veterans, she does a great job, and she was here at that time and helped us out a lot, and she still helps us out a lot. Having Lynn Louder here as like the voice for the veterans has been amazing. He sends me, constant leads too for people who are prior service. I would say that President Ambrose also is a great help to us. I mean, there's not a door that I feel like is locked and I can't get through with putting out my information.
And I know one of the things you're looking for in potential recruits is leadership skills. Now, whether that's a student athlete or somebody who's actively involved on campus, leadership skills certainly something that's very important to you. When you look at Division II athletics and the fact that it's partial scholarship and most kids are on very little actual athletic aid, that fits right in too. You can take a kid who's still got to pay for a lot of their school, who's a leader, and help them finish.
Right. I would love to have, as many athletes as possible. First of all, the military, we're looking for athletic people. You got to be able to run, do push-ups, sit-ups, carry a ruck, maybe even carry your partner at times. So I would love to have as many as we could. I do a lot of work with some people from the wrestling team, some of the students from the wrestling team, and listen those quite often, or at least talking to them. I've talked to a couple in basketball and football. Haven't really contracted any yet, but we're always looking for those individuals just because of the skills that they bring. They've been in sports since they were probably in before 8th grade, and so during that time they're learning from leaders, people who are coaches, and then they start to become the leader. Start being the team captains, and those are just great kids to have.
And I'm sure in your job you come to certain Mules and Jenny's games and you see a kid who maybe is a overachiever but a good athlete and a real leader, and you say, man, I'd love to get that kid in a uniform serving our country, because that's exactly what we need.
Plenty of time.
Well, let's break it down for the viewers. We talk about needing a vehicle to get the word out there on why choose the Army National Guard. What do you offer? What's special? What can you help people with?
Well, the first thing we do is we pay 100% tuition assistance. We use the federal tuition assistance program. The issue with federal tuition assistance, and it only goes up to $4,500 a year. Most students who go here would know that in a fiscal year they're going to use more than $4,500 a year just to pay for their tuition. After that point, because you're in the National Guard, this is the thing that I think makes us better than other services, is we use the state tuition assistance program. The state of Missouri has 100% up to the cost of MU and down, which it doesn't cost as much here as it is to go to MU. So we will pay 100% tuition assistance up to 38 hours per fiscal year. So you can actually, go to school full time, actually over full time, take some during the summer, and we're going to pay for it. On top of that, we also have a GI Bill. So they'll make a tax-free $350 that goes straight into their bank account to use on whatever, help pay for insurance, their car note, pay for books, things like that. If they live out in town, it helps them pay for their rent. On top of that, they can get a $200 kicker if they go in the right MOS. And then if they go into ROTC, if they stay with the program, they like the program in ROTC, and they contract with ROTC, they'll make even more money. They'll make a stipend from the ROTC department, which is $350 per month for their sophomore year and $450 their junior year, and goes up to $500 on their senior year. And then that kicker will actually go up to another $150, making it $350 per month. So, and that's all tax-free.
Well, it's an incredible benefit, obviously. And the thing maybe that's special about Central, maybe compared to some other places, candidly, is having you and having that military affairs office. They can help walk you through those processes of getting those various forms of aid all packaged together, as opposed to, like you said, back when you went to school, kind of having to figure all that out on your own.
Right.
Which I think is great. And there you see the military camo jerseys that we had, the old scoreboard in the background, and there they were displayed. And they matched the same ones you've got on today. I thought that was a really neat tribute, and I know I've heard from some veterans that thought that was pretty cool. We're going to keep using those too.
Yeah, I think I actually believe that was our opener that we did that, and our opener was nation throughout the nation was like number one for the game opener, and we had a lot of free things that we threw out to the fans. We had a helicopter flyover, so I think it was a pretty good program. I think it helped us both.
Absolutely, yeah. Matter of fact, Central won the NCAA Division II Community Engagement Award, and we saw a picture a little bit ago of the installation ceremony, which was part of the game, which we hope to continue and make a yearly tradition. You're also involved with the award-winning UCM Army ROTC Battalion. Of course, everybody that comes to games that's out there watching is familiar with the push-ups after touchdowns and the cannon, but this is a group that competes on a national level and wins championships, just like a lot of our teams.
Yep, they do. I think they just came back from the Ranger Challenge, and I don't know what all the placements were, but I know we had some people who placed pretty well.
There's also an option, if somebody out there is going, I think I'd like to do that, but I don't want to sign up before I know for sure. You've got a class I know that you offer, that you teach here through UCM, through the ROTC program, that gives people a taste maybe of what they might expect.
Yeah, the MS1 year, which is military science MS1, or 1110 and 1120. If they sign up for that class, they don't have to take the lab. They just come to the class, and we do some pretty fun stuff in there. We do, you're going to learn about leadership. I think it's one of the only classes on campus you can go and learn about leadership. On top of that, you're going to be able to do rappel, which I worked on a little bit today, and we'll be rappelling off the walls here in a couple days or next week. We also try to get out and do some paintballing and then navigation stuff here on campus. And it kind of gives them a little taste of what the military's about. I mean, we're not doing push-ups and sit-ups in there. We're not roughing anybody out by any means, but they're learning about past leaders and things that they've done, and how to make decisions and pretty much how to be a better person using the Army values.
Well, we've talked about the assistance to get through school, which is very important in this day and age, and what the Guard offers. But beyond that, I know you guys offer some job training, and as I looked at some of the materials, the job training is in areas like criminal justice, aviation, just a couple. Business was another. Well, those are all areas that are very strong degree programs for Central, so that ties in even better.
Right. I mean, I tell people who come into my office who are like criminal justice, they come in and say, hey, I'm going to go criminal justice, let me go MP. And sometimes that's great, depending on what their final outcome is. A lot of them we end up putting into communication jobs and into intelligence jobs to give them like the top secret clearances if they're interested in federal employment. Aviation, same thing. And you go into aviation, learn how to work on helicopters, and then become a pilot, when you're done with this program. Become a pilot and fly our helicopters, and at the same time, 1 week in a month you're doing that, and the rest of the time you could be flying for a commercial airline or a business.
Well, before we let you go, Damon, how can somebody out there watching who said, you know what, I need some help getting through school, I don't want loans, I think this may be the way for me, or I want to talk to Sergeant Gates about it, how can they get a hold of you?
They can come over to Humphreys 101D. That's where my office is. They can come there or come to my classroom 102 right across the hallway, or give me a call. Best way to get a hold of me is on my cell phone at 660-238-3552.
238-3552. I know that well because it's part of our uniform update on our radio broadcast. So I've mentioned your email and your phone number about 500 times, I think, this year. But it's been a lot of fun. Sergeant Gates, it's been a great partnership. I know it's continuing, which is exciting. And I just want to say on behalf of all of our viewers, most importantly, thank you for what you do and all service people do to protect our nation. We talk about our student athletes being heroes, and in the appropriate context they are, but it's you folks wearing the uniform that are the true heroes. So thank you for your service, and thank you for your partnership with UCM.
Thank you, Shawn.
In just a moment here on Sportspage, folks, we're going to look back on another great year in UCM Mules and Jenny sports. That's next here on Sportspage.
I grew up in Harlem during the Depression, but I was extremely fortunate to have an opportunity to go to college, tuition free. When I retired, I thought if I can even help one person go to college, I'll have done something really great. So I support one student with a scholarship. I see the values of PBS in sync with my values. And just the way I want to pass on a legacy of education, I would like to pass PBS on to the next generation. That's why I've included my PBS station in my estate planning. I like to think that PBS is concerned with our soul. If your soul is in the right place, you're giving back.
I was 5 when I was smuggled out of the Warsaw Ghetto to hide among the Christians. I came back with some fragile memories, afraid that they may be erased.
It's a wide divergence, myth versus reality.
His life became an unstoppable legend.
He is the underdog. He is the man who is fighting against authority.
Now the real story will be told.
Jesse James was immersed in the most savage kind of bloodshed conceivable.
America's most notorious outlaw. Jesse James on American Experience.
You're watching KMOS Channel 6.1, Sedalia, Warrensburg.
Thanks to KMOS-TV student producer Trevor Durrell, a senior from Sedalia, for his work on the video highlighting another great year for UCM Mules and Jennies sports, and lots of spring sports teams still in action. So best of luck to them as they head down the stretch of what's been a great year for the Mules and Jennies. In just a moment, we'll tell you where all the Mules and Jennies are competing this weekend as Sportspage rolls on after this timeout.
Hope and heartbreak, risk and redemption. Join us for the New York Philharmonic's shimmering new production of Rodgers and Hammerstein's Carousel, starring Kelly O'Hara, Nathan Gunn, Jon Cullum, and Stephanie Blythe. Next time on Live from Lincoln Center.
That's cool. One man, one Harley.
We are ready to go.
One surprising look at the land of the free.
I'm Peter Sagal, and I am taking a journey across the country to find out how the Constitution works in the 21st century. I am so tweeting this.
Cracks are showing in the Bill of Rights. Technology's putting them there.
Constitution USA with Peter Sagal.
Who says we can't know how a Civil War soldier felt, or what it's like to change the rules of the game? Ken Burns pioneered a new way to tell America's story. And only PBS gives filmmakers like him a place to push the boundaries of what TV can do. Please give to this PBS station so that every American can experience stories like these, now and for generations to come.
Thank you for watching KMOS Channel 6.1, Sedalia, Warrensburg.
For one final time this season, welcome back to Sportspage. Before we put the finishing touches on another season of the show, let's run down our upcoming schedule of events. So here in the next couple weeks, you know where to follow the Mules and Jennies as they close out the season. And we start with the Jennies softball team. They'll close out the regular season this weekend with 4 key road games. Saturday, the Gens will be in Pittsburgh, Kansas for a 1 o'clock twin bill with Pitt State. On Sunday, the Jennies will be in Joplin for a 1 o'clock doubleheader with Missouri Southern. Gens currently tied for 7th in the league with Pitt and Southern right on their heels. The top 8 teams from the regular season standings then advance to the MIAA Tournament next Thursday through Saturday in Overland Park, Kansas. The 8th-ranked Mules Baseball team hosts Emporia State Saturday and Sunday at Crane Stadium, Tompkins Field to close out the regular season. Saturday, the two teams play a 1 p.m. doubleheader. It's Senior Day, with that ceremony going on about 12:40 or so get out to the ballpark a little early. 10 seniors honored prior to the game. Saturday's also Team Youth Day. All teams wearing uniform tops admitted free of charge. If you don't have those uniform tops yet, contact Bob Jackson for vouchers. His email address is jackson@ucmo.edu. Saturday's also the 10-year anniversary, the 10-year reunion for the 2003 national champion Mules baseball team. About 17 of those guys coming back. They'll be recognized between games of the doubleheader on Saturday. On Sunday, the two teams will play a single 9-inning game beginning at 1 o'clock. We'll have all 3 games for you on 98.5 The Bar and WarrensburgRadio.com. The UCM Media Network will provide a pay-per-view webcast of Saturday's action. Then next Thursday and Friday, the Mules will host a first-round series in the MIAA Tournament. Top 8 teams make the tournament. The 4 winners of those 3-game series will then advance to Kansas City. So a best-of-3 format, 3 9-inning games. The Mules will play Thursday, May 2nd at 6 at Crane Stadium, Tompkins Field. Friday, May 3rd at 6 p.m. and an if-necessary game Saturday, May 4th at 1 p.m. Again, all of that out at Crane Stadium, Tompkins Field. The UCM Mules and Jennies track and field team will send student athletes to the Drake Relays in Des Moines this weekend, as well as the Simpson Twilight event in Indianola, Iowa, and the Baker Wildcat Open down in Baldwin City, Kansas. Next weekend, the Mules and Jennies will be in Hays, Kansas for the MIAA Outdoor Championships. The Mules golf team will officially learn later this week that they're in the field for the NCAA Super Regional Tournament in Kenosha, Wisconsin. Another great year for the Mules. It'll be their 20th straight season where they have qualified for NCAA competition. And as we put the finishing touches on another season of Sportspage, we do want to take a moment to thank producer Alden Miller for all his work behind the scenes. He's been here since 2004 working with Sportspage. Alden, from all of us, congratulations, thanks, and best of luck. And with that, we conclude another season of the Central Missouri Sportspage, my 13th hosting this show. We hope you enjoyed your weekly inside look at UCM Mules and Jenny Sports, and we'll be back with you in September with a new season of the show. To keep up with our spring sports teams in the postseason and everything happening with Mules and Jenny Sports, visit UCMathletics.com. From me, a very special thanks to the crew of students and staff here at KMOS who work hard behind the scenes each week. And, of course, thanks to all of you for tuning in and being an important part of one of the most successful NCAA Division II athletic programs in the nation. Until next fall, for our entire crew, this is Shawn Jones saying thanks for watching Sportspage here on KMOS-TV, Missouri PBS. Support for Sportspage is provided by First Central Bank, full-service banking from 6 locations in Warrensburg, Holden, Higginsville, and Odessa. More information is available on their Facebook page or at the website firstcentral.net. Member FDIC. And by Union Station, crossroads to technology, a one-stop shopping source for technology needs. Campus-compatible computers, software for Mac and PCs, and much more. Located on campus on the lower floor of the Elliott Union in Warrensburg. Union Station, crossroads to technology. And promotional support for Sportspage is provided by 1450 Cocoa and 98.5 The Bar. 1450 Cocoa and 98.5 The Bar, the radio home of University of Central Missouri Athletics.